Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Christina and this is Creations by Christy, and welcome back to part 15 of our Mystery Make series. The series where we let the spinning wheel tell us what we're going to make from my Pinterest boards. So without further ado, let's see what we're making this week. Okay, another sewing project. I mean, we know if you've been here from the beginning or if you go back, the Mystery Make series is based around my sewing and crochet Pinterest boards and letting the spinning wheel tell us what we're going to make and start going through all of them. Cuz like most elder millennials, Pinterest was my personality for a very long time, and so I have tons and tons and tons of pins that never actually got made. So now we're taking the time to do that. So let's go ahead with this classic pattern of a very classic 1-yard apron, and let's get our fabric picked out. I'm feeling a certain kind of way, I think, with this one, with it being kind of a 1-yard wonder. Let's get turned around and see what I have. Like I was saying, with this being a 1-yard wonder, I'm always in this bin, right? This area. And I'm feeling a little summer weenie. And I have some really cute Halloween 1-yarders. I always buy these when they go on clearance. So when I find them on clearance at Walmart, I always try to grab them. I have just, eh. Look at this one too. So I have these really cute, might be better if I put in frame. So I have this really cute pumpkins. Okay. Or we have the spider web. Or I just have this black and white polka dot, which I think for this one, I don't want so plain. I think I'm going to really take advantage of it. So, spider web or pumpkins. They're both 1-yard pre-cuts. They're 36 by 44. The pattern calls for 36 by 45, but that's not a problem. It does say that when you're doing if you have less than a 45, then you're just taking off length of the actual apron bottom, so it's not a big deal. An inch is not a big deal at all. I think I want to go true Halloween-y, because this could also be just fall in general. It's leaning very Halloween fall, but it's pumpkins, it's fall colors. I think we could totally get away with this just for being fall in general. So I think this is what we're going to use. It also uses a trim, that good classic wavy trim. I don't know if I have any though. I'll need to get in the bin. If I can find some in either white or yellow, because yellow would be a good contrast. I think I'm going to use it. So let me get in my bin. Let me see if I have it. But this is what we're going to go with. So let's get it laid out. Okay, so I don't have any of that wave trim, or I think it used to be called rickrack. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. So I was thinking, so we're going to use the pumpkins, right, as the main base. I was thinking about using this orange to do like the pockets for that contrast, or even like the waistband, or the waistband in the pockets. I don't know. I think it'll work. I think it's going to be a good contrast to it. It'll just give it that little pop of color and difference. Now, I will say, this pattern is literally a classic apron pattern. It was, I believe it says it was written back in the 50s. You can find it. It used to be a basic sewing pattern taught in like home ec classes, because it is a 1 yard kind of wonder. Everything can be cut out of 1 yard of fabric. And we'll go over the layout. It shows it how you lay it out in the pattern blog, of course. But if I'm going to do any contrasting, so it's going to change it just a little bit, it's not a big deal. And it's something you have a great option for. Like I said, the best part of this is that you just need a yard. If you have contrasting fabrics, or if you want to make it out of a whole bunch of different scraps, that's up to you. These types of patterns are great for that. It teaches basic sewing skills and things like that as well. So let's get it laid out and let's get our apron cut. So as you'll see here, this is my little helper. This is Bo. He is a new addition to the farm. He is a Basset Hound puppy. And as you can see, he really wants to help me with my project. And I just wanted to jump on here with a little voiceover and let you guys know who you get to spend the next couple minutes enjoying the antics of Bo while I'm trying to cut my fabric. right, so our pieces are cut. Now it's time to start getting this apron put together. It does deal with a lot of ironing and putting stuff in place. You'll learn that when you do iron and things like that on projects, it just helps lay seams cleaner and stuff. So that's why. That's why this one, like I said, this one is considered that old school pattern that, you know, everyone should know pattern, that type of stuff. And so it's thought of that way because it teaches the fundamentals, a lot of the basic fundamentals of sewing. And so doing things like pressing your seams and pressing your hems and things like that are just best practice. So what I'm doing is I took notes from the pattern and I'm just looking over my notes to see and trying to get all of my ironed seams and marks done while I'm over here at the board before I set at the sewing machine. Now, am I exactly going in line for the pattern? No, a lot of the stuff it does want you to like iron this, now sew this, iron this, now sew this. Please, if this is a true beginner sewing pattern for you, I would suggest you follow the way that it wants you to. I have been sewing for long enough, I feel comfortable just going through and doing all of like my ironing marks now. Because they're just ironing marks for the hems and things like that. And you know, what's the worst? I have to iron out an iron mark. I think it'll be okay. So this is that base part of our apron. So I got all the iron marks done on that. There are a couple that I need to do on the pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and get those done too. the ironing that I can do kind of before I start sewing, I'm done with. So let's go ahead and I will meet you over at the sewing machine. We're done ironing for now. So let's go ahead and get these sewn up. Last thing to sew together so far. This is the waistband piece. And we just gotta sew it together and then we have to go back and press it out. So the next part is placing the pockets so that we can top stitch them down. So that's why, as you see, I went ahead and did the ironed side of it so that when we place them, we can go ahead and pin them in place. And then we're just going to top stitch around them. I will say I'm so happy. I ended up picking, you might not be able to see it. Let's see. I ended up picking this really pretty orange as my thread color because I think where it does contrast, it's just going to be super cute. Just that little bit of contrast color. So for the pockets, they do have a placing for them. It is 4.5 inches from the top and then 6 inches in from the side. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of mentally mark. I can actually just bloop. And then down 4.5 is right about there. So down 4.5 over 6 is where we would place our this isn't on, I'm just using the remnant heat to help. Since I did that top edge, it no longer folded nicely. And we're just going to go around and pin it in place. And the amount of pins you use is up to you. Whatever makes you comfortable, makes you feel like you can secure it and sew it and everything stay where it's supposed to be. So now we'll go ahead and do that to the other side. Pockets are on. And I know they may seem like they're really far apart, and trust me, I had that whole moment myself when I was placing them. It's because we're going to base the top to pull it together, to scrunch it into the waistband. So it's going to naturally kind of bring these closer once all of this is ruffled together. Now, let's get some ties sewn. I got my ties done. It has used top stitch down the opposite side. This is the side that we sewn together and turned it into a loop. This is the side that we sewn together when we turned it as a tube. So it has you top stitch that folded side, that opposite side, just so that it adds some structure to the tie. I also went ahead and put my pleat in on my ends like it says to, so it just makes it smaller for when we add it to the waistband. So now we need to just add the basting stitches to the top of the apron so that we can pull it and cause those pleats in the top. So let's get that done. So final day on our apron. I will tell you guys, I know for me, it looks like it takes me days upon days to get things like this done. It does. Just because I have a normal life, just like everyone else. I wish content creating was all I had to do, but unfortunately I have to go to a big girl job, and I'm a grandma, and I own a farm. So a lot of other things tend to stop what I'm doing. This project should really only take you like maybe 2 hours, honestly, probably less than that. It is a very, like I've said, it is such a classic apron. I mean, this is something that used to be taught in like home ec classes. So it's not expected to be like this long, drawn out process. If you actually have time to just sit and do and work, it's a lot quicker than I tend to make things look sometimes. So, and that's why I try to let you guys know, like, hey, I know you've seen like 3 different shirts at this point. I swear it doesn't take 3 days. It's just how life just happened to be for me. But let's get this done. all we have left is attaching the waistband. We finished gathering it the other day, so we gotta get the waistband on, and then it's complete. And then I have a lovely Halloween apron. So let's get this put together. So like I said, last thing we have to do is attach our waistband to our apron base. I'm so excited about this. So the waistband to apron, they're gonna go face to face. So it's gonna go right side to start. And you're gonna go center point to center point. Now, I have my center point marked and my center point marked. You're going to put a 1/2 inch seam allowance on it, so you just want to make sure that you pin it the right way and don't do what I'm about to do. There we go. Oi. Okay. So, you're going raw edge to raw edge. You're going to mark and pin that halfway point to keep everything together, right? So I went ahead and I ironed my 1/2 inch seam allowances on the end just so I could keep track of them. To me, it just makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to do that. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to pull your pleats and start pinning everything down. And you just want to even them out. You know, the more even that you make these, just the nicer and cleaner it's going to look on the front. And the more pins you put in, the easier it's going to be when you're sewing it to keep kind of everything together. So you don't want any like big bunches. So if you have big bunches, you just kind of want to smooth them out a little bit. And go through, and you're going to do that all the way down your apron on both sides. So I got that side done. Now to come over here, and once again I'm gonna pull my edge over so I have kind of that guideline of how far my pleats are going to go. And go ahead and start securing that down. And straighten out my pleats. So while we're here, I'll go over the next couple steps. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew this at a 1/2 inch. Then we are going to bloop and fold it, right? So you see how it's going to clean that edge up? And we're going to fold it back around. We're going to attach our lovely ties. And then we're going to just finish off our side. And of course, that bottom. And sew everything together. Let's get over to the sewing machine and get this finished up. All right, guys, guess what? It's done. You can't see it. Hold on. That's a little bit better. Okay. Hold on. What if we just slide you down. Try this again. Maybe right there. Right there? Is it close enough? A little bit more? Okay. Hold on. Almost. Almost, guys. I just want you to see the whole thing. Down a little bit more. There we go. It is finished. So this waistband is made to go back and come forward and tie in just a cute little bow. There's our pockets. If you can't tell, it's right under knee length. For me, I am tall, but it is right under knee length. And I have it tied on my natural waist. But there we go, guys. It is so cute. It is so cute. And it's going to be so cute for the fall. And yeah, I'm so happy. It could have been done days ago, like I said. But all right, give me one sec. So, how do you love it? I mean, I really do love it. I know you're probably tired of hearing me say that. Almost every project we've done, I've loved in the end. I think we've only had like maybe one where I was like, nah, it's fine. I did it. But like I said, this one, especially with this pattern, this is going to be so great for the fall and for Halloween. Just a cute little basic apron. You know, a 1 yard wonder as it's called. But once again, as always, I will put all the links for everything down below so that you can get the pattern yourself. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, especially if you've made it this far. You know, these have been really great things that we've got to work on. So thank you so much once again for watching. Please like, subscribe, share if you want to. You know, it really helps with the algorithm. I know there's got to be more people out there that want to see things like this in the Pinterest Maybe Make It series. Also, please comment down below anything you'd like to see on the channel. I've been debating a vlog. Maybe. I don't know if it'll be a day in the life vlog. I have a lot of things. But a crochet vlog. So, or a sewing vlog, whatever I'm working on. But once again, if there's anything that you'd like to see, please just let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again next time. Bye.